What's up YouTube? Today we're going to be discussing the maintenance and repairs on your Mini Cooper and which parts you should change at the same time as each other to save yourself both time and money. Time if you're doing the repair yourself, money if you're having a shop do it. So if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and stick around. You're going to want to watch this whole video. This is going to be part one of this video. This is just going to be the maintenance and repairs, like I said. Part two is going to be for suspension and stuff like that, performance modifications, and which ones you want to do at the same time. So watch for that video as well. I do want to specify this video is geared towards an N14 engine on an R56, but it's also going to work on, or also going to be true on an N18 engine. So keep that in mind, and it's probably true on most Mini Coopers, as long as those parts are close to each other and it makes sense to change them at the same time. This video is going to be valuable for every Mini Cooper, except for maybe the classics. No matter which Mini Cooper you drive, whether it's a classic or a brand new Mini or anything in between, you should check out my Facebook group. It's called Mini Cooper DIY. It's for obviously DIY stuff. We get about 300 to 400 new members every week. It's growing really fast. There's a lot of questions asked. There's a lot of questions answered. So give that group a look, and I'll get on with this video. Okay, the first group of things, if you're doing a head gasket or you're doing valves, anything you're doing where you're going to pull the head off of the car, doesn't matter what it is. If you have the funds to do it, at the same time, it would make no sense not to replace your timing chain because you have to take it out anyway. You might as well put in a new one. And also your valve seals, because you can do your valve seals with the head still in the car, way easier with the car off, or with the head off of the car. So yeah, I would definitely look into replacing all those at the same time. Even if you have the money, if you're doing a head gasket and you have the money for upgraded valves, because you're going to want to upgrade your valves anyway if you're working on an N14 or an N18, just because, you know, if you've watched my video on what BMW got wrong with those engines, one of the things is how close the valves are to the turbo and how hot they get and how you lose valve number 3 a lot, the exhaust valve number 3 a lot. So upgrading those valves is a good idea. But like I said, if you're going to do the head gasket or the valves, those are the two main reasons you're going to pull the head. Do the timing chain and the valve seals at the same time. And if you can only afford to do one of those, I would recommend the timing chain, because if that fails, it's catastrophic. The valve seals fail, you just get smoke out the tailpipe. Okay, the second group is again to do with the timing chain. If you're going to be doing your timing chain, you're already going to have the motor mounts off the car on the passenger side. So you're going to be able to move the engine up and down already because you already did all the work. So replacing your water pump at that time would be very smart, because you've already done half the work, so you're going to save yourself a bunch of time. That's if you're going to take it out from the top. From the bottom, it doesn't really matter to you. But like I said, save yourself a lot of time if you do them both at the same time. Or if you're going to replace your belt, not your belt tensioner, but the pulley tensioner for the water pump. That's a good time, because you have to take that off anyway. Might as well put on a new one. So yeah. Okay, the third two things are going to be the thermostat housing and the crossover pipe at the same time. Now, I didn't do mine at the same time, and I had a reason. I planned it I ordered the crossover pipe around the same time I ordered the thermostat, but I planned on making 2 videos because I wanted to show you how to do each. So I didn't do them at the same time. Plus my crossover pipe showed up the day after I did my thermostat housing video. But anyway, you want to do them at the same time because you have to remove the thermostat housing in order to do the crossover pipe anyway. And the crossover pipe is like less than $30. So it's not like it's a bunch of extra money to replace your crossover pipe if it's not bad. And if you watch my video on how to replace it, it's not hard, especially if you already have the thermostat housing off anyway because you're replacing it. It's going to take you a couple more minutes to change the crossover pipe. So get them both done at the same time. Don't do what I did and do them separately unless you're a YouTuber and you're making videos. Alright, next up is if you're going to be doing either your exhaust manifold gasket, or if you're just going to replace your turbo oil feed line and return line whichever one of those jobs you're doing, you should do them both at the same time. At least the way I do it, because I remove the exhaust manifold to do the lines anyway, and the gaskets for the oil cooler and the oil filler housing and all that, or the oil filter housing. Since you're taking the the exhaust manifold off anyway, change the gaskets because you're putting on new ones. Or if you're just replacing the gasket, you're taking the manifold off. It is super easy to do your oil return lines because, well, you already have them off of your turbo because you had to take the manifold off. And if you watch my video on that, it's right there. You don't have to, no special tools needed for that job. You can take the exhaust manifold off, replace those lines and all those gaskets with just a regular socket set. You don't need anything else. It's super easy. It doesn't even take that long. Like I said, watch my videos, you'll see. It's really easy. All right, the last one's gonna be the alternator and the belt tensioner. And the reason for that isn't because they're related, it's because you have to remove the belt tensioner in order to take off the alternator. And if you do a lot of work on your car, such as I do, you could break that belt tensioner. In fact, mine's broken. The little pin that you pop out and put back in order to release the tension on the belt, mine's sitting on a table. So I gotta release the tension and then put the pin in manually. I can't just, doesn't have a spring on it or anything like that anymore. It doesn't stay in the car. So yeah, when I do my alternator, I'll replace that. It's real. Those things are, mine was just an OEM one. They are cheap metal. They're not made to last a long time. They don't need to, because you're only, how many times do you use it? But yeah, I would definitely replace it if you're gonna take it off anyway, because like I said, they are weak. I'll have links in the description to all of my how-to videos, or you can just go to where my playlists are. Just click on videos, or you can click on playlists on my channel, and I have a bunch of playlists, and it's just called how-tos, I believe. But I'll put a link to that in the description, and I'll put a link to my Facebook group in the description. Again, it's called Mini Cooper DIY. If you want to just go on Facebook and search that, you'll find it pretty easily. Also, I always leave a list of tools that every Mini Cooper owner needs. And there's 7 tools on there, and very valuable. I recommend every single one of them. I use them. They're great, and it really helps me out because if you see those are Amazon links and I'm an affiliate, I make a little bit of money, not much, but it'll help me out, and then I can continue making these videos. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, and if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like this video, give it a thumbs down, and I'll catch you in the next video.